to talk about CPR. We're going to break it into sections. We'll start with an adult, we'll go to child, and then we'll go to infant. We'll also hit on the AED trainer. So a couple things first I want to talk about is the only person that needs CPR is no pulse. And then if you have to do CPR, we want you to push hard, push fast, and don't stop. So a little bit, let's go over adult CPR. So the first thing you'll notice that the mannequin's on the table on the ground is the first thing you want to do is establish responsiveness and call 911 and go get an AED. So establish responsiveness, we're going to shake that patient. We're going to do a quick sternal rub. Just take your knuckles, drag on the chest. You want this patient to move. If this patient's not moving, we're going to start CPR. The landmarks are mid-nipple line, male, female, 100 pounds or 800 pounds, it doesn't matter. When you're laying on the ground, the center of your chest opens up. So you put the center of your palm, mid-nipple line on your patient. You want to get over top of the patient the best that you can. The best place to do CPR is on the ground, all right? So you want to get your shoulders over top, lock your elbows. You can do it right-handed, left-handed. You can do it this way. It doesn't matter at all. And you're just going to do non-stop CPR. So you notice my rhythm here is to the Bee Gees song, Staying Alive, or Baby Shark, whatever rhythm you want to play in your head. So that's the speed of CPR that you want to do. And notice how I'm pushing hard, I'm pushing fast, and I'm not stopping until 911 shows up. So really, if you get any response back from the patient, you stop. If you start pushing on the patient's chest and they're moving and moving, trying away from you, stop doing CPR. So again, establish responsiveness. Hey, 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 are you okay? Shout, go get the AED, start doing CPR. Center of their chest, Baby Shark, Bee Gees song, Staying Alive, that's CPR. That's adult CPR. A little bit about choking. How do you know if someone's choking? I always ask, are you choking? You can hear them or you don't hear them. Look at the patient. Are they blue? If you don't hear any sounds, you always ask the patient, are you choking? If you don't hear any sounds, that's full obstruction. You might have a patient that's putting their hands around the neck saying, signaling that that they are choking. So if you don't hear anything, you want to find their belly button, ball your fist up like this, come around them the best that you can, and you want to forcefully try to expel this object out. Now, a lot of people ask how hard, how fast, how many times do you do this? You do the Heimlich maneuver or the abdominal thrust as hard as you can, as fast as you can, until something comes out. Well, how do you hear or how do you know something comes out? If you're doing this to a patient and you start hearing something, that's when you stop. Again, if you are performing the Heimlich maneuver, you didn't hear anything when you asked them, are you choking? So as hard as you can, as fast as you can, and you don't stop until you get some type of response from that patient. They may, as you're performing the Heimlich maneuver, they may go unconscious on you. So how do you know if they go unconscious? They start to slope down. They start to, they want to fall to the ground. Just lower them to the ground, and you provide chest compressions here. And the science is you're trying to force that object back up this way. If you happen to look in their mouth and you see a chicken wing, get the chicken wing out. One of the other concerns is that the patient vomits. If that's a concern, just roll them to the side. That's the big thing you want to do there. So that's adult CPR, both the CPR maneuvers and choking. Transition into child CPR, and by textbook, they classify a child being the onset of puberty, and a lot of times people say, well, what age is that? And I can't tell you what that is. You have to look at the patient and make a good educated guess. And the only difference is, do I do CPR with one hand or do I do CPR with two hands? Granted, there are children that are my size, but they're children that are, first grade, second grade. Those individuals do CPR with one hand. If you have, maybe a middle school child that's a larger kid, maybe my size, you're going to do CPR with 2 hands. So that's just really an educated decision that you will have to make. As far as CPR, everything is exactly the same. So you find a child that's lifeless, laying on the ground, sternal rub, shake, 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 shout for help, go get the AED, sternal rub there. If there's no movement, no pulse, you're doing a good look at the patient looks blue, doesn't look good, you're going to start CPR. Same landmarks, the heel of your hand, mid-nipple line. Textbook says 2 fingers above the xiphoid process, but it's really mid-nipple line, doesn't matter. Heel of the hand right there, and you're going to provide CPR with 1 hand. Same as we did for the adult patient, Bee Gees song Staying Alive or Baby Shark. That's the tempo that you want. And again, pushing hard, pushing fast, and not stopping until 911 shows up. So really that's child CPR. Remember, it's just that educated decision that you'll have to make, whether you do it with 1 hand or you do it with 2 hands. Again, if it's a small child, 1st grade, 2nd grade, little child, 1 hand's acceptable versus a larger individual my size, 2 hands. So we'll transition into how do you know if someone, a child's choking. Again, always ask them. Always ask them, are you choking? If you hear something, if you hear anything, sounds, words, anything, that's partial obstruction. Partial obstruction, everyone, we've all done this. It's the heel of your hand between the shoulder blades. Try to cough, try to cough, try to cough, try to cough. That's partial obstruction. We've all done that. If it's full obstruction, you ask the patient, are you choking? And they're turning blue and their hands are to their throat. That's full obstruction. Same as we did for the adult. Find their belly button, ball your fist up somehow this way, come around them, and forcefully try to expel this thing out. As hard as you can, as fast as you can, and don't stop until you either hear this patient moaning or groaning, or they're just trying to run away from you. A lot of people always say, can you die from choking? Absolutely, you can die from choking. So you really want to go full go on these abdominal thrusts. You don't want to think that you're going to hurt poor Johnny. You want to, do it as hard as you can to get that object out. So we're going to transition from child CPR into the AED. So a little bit about AEDs. They're everywhere. Every school in Ohio has them. Every Central Ohio Kroger has them. Sporting venues, gyms, YMCAs, churches, a lot of places in the public setting have AEDs. The only thing that you can mess up on an AED is forget to turn it on. And it sounds elementary and you think, well, what do you mean? Some AEDs, there's lots of colors, makes, models, sizes of AEDs out there in the general public. This just happens to be an AED trainer that we have. A little bit different than those that are in the Hilliard City schools. However, they all operate the same way. Some of them come in a case like this. Some of them just are on the wall or in a case like this. So when I say the only thing you can mess up on an AED is forget to turn it on, sometimes when you open an AED up, it automatically starts talking to you. So I tell everyone, if I hand you an AED and it's not talking to you, it's not on. Just press it on. Sometimes when you're in the public setting, your AED is separate from your patches. The Hilliard City schools, the patches are already connected to the machine. I just want you to understand the difference. Sometimes they're disconnected. They're just separated from the machine. First thing you want to do is turn the machine on. We turned it on.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest. Plug in pads connector next to flashing light.
So I'm going to stop for just a second. I'm going to turn this machine off. I told you you don't want to turn it off, but just for training purposes, I'm going to talk about the patches for a minute. The patches come in an aluminum foil type wrapper like that. Sorry about that. Let me grab that. So just rip it open. And I always tell The patches are fireman proof. If you don't know where they go, look at the pictures. It tells you exactly where you need to put those patches. The goal is to cross the heart. So you want to put one in the upper chest and one in the lower chest, right? And you see how they go there. Something to look at is if you have a pacemaker or defibrillator where this patch says it needs to go, just put one. Just don't put it over the pacemaker, defibrillator, or medication patch or anything. Just switch them. One on the on the other side. The goal is to cross the heart. That's the big thing. So we're going to go ahead and turn our machine on. This setup is exactly the way Hilliard City Schools AED is. The actual plug is already plugged in. So the first thing and the only thing you can mess up on an AED is forget to turn it on. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. We got it connected to our patient.
Press pads firmly to patient's bare chest.
So you want to make sure, just like it says, that it's stuck on the patient.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
So at this time, it's analyzing
Do not
rhythm.
touch the patient.
So we would not be doing CPR here. It's analyzing.
Shock advised.
So it's recognizing that a
Charging.
shock is indicated.
Stay clear of patient.
Do exactly what the machine tells you.
Deliver shock now.
Stay clear.
Press the orange
So at this
button
time,
now.
that orange button is flashing. We would say clear, clear, clear. Push the shock.
Shock delivered.
We delivered the shock.
Paused.
And
Begin
now
CPR.
we can get back on the chest and continue doing CPR. There's no concern of are you going to be shocked after you deliver the shock. As soon as you hit that button, you can get right back on the chest and provide your CPR. So there's no concern there. What this machine's doing now after we delivered that shock is it's counting down from 2 minutes. So at the end of 2 minutes, it's going to reanalyze again. It's going to say stand clear and analyzing rhythm. And if a shock's indicated, you can go ahead and shock. But any time in between there, you can continue doing CPR. So again, don't forget to turn the machine on. It's only going to tell you what needs to happen. So it's actually written to a 3rd grade level. So don't be afraid of an AED. It doesn't matter if this is a blue one and a blue and gray one, or the one at Hilliard City School is a yellow and black one. They all operate the same way. So very simple unit. I'll go ahead and leave that on just so you can hear at the end of 2 minutes what happens. It'll just start reanalyzing. So really, that's it for an AED. A lot of some special considerations. Who can you use this on? You can use an AED on an adult, obviously. You can use it on a child, and you can also even use it on an infant. The only concern is where you place those patches. You don't want the patches touching each other. Remember what I said, the goal is to cross the heart. One on the front. Maybe if we had to put it on this baby, we'd put one patch on the front, one patch on the back. There's no concern with them touching in that situation, and we can use it on a baby. On a young child, there may be a concern that if you put a patch here and a patch here, they may be a little bit close. Just put it over to the side. It won't matter at all. But that you can use it on any patient here.
Stop CPR. Analyzing heart rhythm. Stay clear of patient.
So again, it's analyzing, so we're not touching the patient.
Analyzing heart rhythm. No shock advised.
So it recognized that a no shock, it was
If
indicated
needed,
there.
begin CPR.
But remember, it's not picking up whether you need to do CPR or not. It's only looking at the electrical activity in the heart. So you have to figure out whether the patient has a pulse or not and CPR is indicated or not. So a little bit of confusion there. One of the other things I like to bring up is, especially in public settings, a lot of people panic about using the AED and they don't know whether they should use it or not. If someone's unconscious and they're not breathing, they don't seem to be moving at all, especially in the school setting, hook the AED up. If it's, if they're not moving, no pulse, hook the AED up. It might tell you no shocks indicated. That's okay, but you still might need to be doing CPR. So again, a good assessment, shake, 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 sternal rub, quick pulse check if you know how to do that. If there's no pulse, remember the only person that needs CPR is no pulse. If there's no pulse, we need to be providing CPR. So don't panic if that AED says no shocks indicated. You still may have to do CPR. And we can provide further training if needed there.